Hey Food Allergy Mama! Travel days with food allergies can feel like packing for a survival mission with the meds, meals, backup plans, all before you've had your coffee. In this episode, I'm sharing exactly what I bring when I fly with food allergies so you don't have to figure it out from scratch. Even if flying isn't on your agenda right now, don't skip this one. Everything I share works for road trips, train rides, and those long travel days where you just want to feel prepared and calm instead of frazzled and anxious. And stay to the end. I'll walk you through some real-life snack ideas that work for most of the major allergens so you're not scrambling the night before you leave. Let's get to it. Hey Food Allergy Mama. If you're here, you've likely experienced the scary and lonely food allergy diagnosis with your child. Unfortunately, food allergy parents aren't taught how to navigate the food allergy lifestyle, and it's easy to feel alone and discouraged sometimes. But I'm here to show you that food allergy life, it doesn't have to feel restrictive, scary, or isolated. I'm Corinna, and I'm a 17-year food allergy mom and food allergy coach at Friendly Pantry Consulting. I specialize in making food allergy life safer and less worrisome for food allergy families like yours. I'm not perfect, but over 17 years, I've learned a lot the hard way, and I'm sharing the secrets and resources you won't hear anywhere else that will help you feel confident living with food allergies faster and easier than I did. From introducing allergens, travel, navigating school, and educating friends and family, this podcast will give you the essential tips and strategies you need to help your food allergy child and family thrive. Welcome to the show. Have you heard? I've become a food allergy travel advisor. I can help take the burden of planning a trip off your plate so you can focus on making memories with your family. Email me at corinna.meckleborg@fora.travel and we can chat about your dream vacation. You can also sign up for my Food Allergy Travel Secrets email list, which is where I share our family's travel secrets that we've learned after 18 years of traveling with food allergies. Go to www.friendlypantry.com/travel secrets, all one word with an S at the end. I still remember all those travel days early on, juggling bags and snacks and feeling really nervous and totally underprepared and, of course, a little overwhelmed. After years of practice and a few mistakes along the way, I've learned exactly what I have to bring to keep things smooth. And today, I'm sharing that go-to list with you. Let's start off with 4 epinephrine devices. Now, I like to bring 4 devices, and I say devices right now because there are injectors like EpiPens available, and some places they have the nasal spray called Neffy. Unfortunately, where I am in Canada, Neffy is not available for us yet, but they did mention to me that it should be here by the end of this year, 2025, if all goes well. Anyway, I like to have 4 devices with us on vacation, and I know some like more, but here's my thoughts on why I like 4. First of all, we always carry 2 devices with us at all times. So if we bring 4 devices, we can leave 2 in the hotel and carry 2 with us. Then if we happen to use those 2, hopefully not, or even lose them, we still have 2 devices available in the hotel. So some might ask you why you even bring 4, because they're expensive. Well, if they get lost or you have to use them, it can be very hard to replace them in another country. It's not as easy as just bringing your prescription because many places won't accept prescriptions from doctors outside the country or maybe even outside the state or the province. This means that you have to go through the whole rigmarole of seeing a doctor who can prescribe an epi, and then they have to make a diagnosis and then give you the prescription. So bringing 2 sets is how I like to get around this, so you don't have to stress if you do lose them. If you want to bring more for your peace of mind, by all means, go ahead. But I find that 4 is a good balance and it works well for us. And again, when you're bringing them on travel days, those epinephrine devices should never go in your checked baggage, always in your carry-on with you on the plane, because you don't want them to get lost or damaged due to those temperature changes in the checked baggage area. And don't forget to bring your other medications like asthma inhalers and medicated eczema creams as well. The second thing to bring on travel days is a stash of wipes. Studies have shown that allergens can only be removed from hands using soap and water or physical wiping, not using hand sanitizers. Surfaces are similar. So some airlines use a spray sanitizer to kill bacteria and viruses on surfaces, but this would do nothing for allergens. So I'm not actually sure if they go through and wipe surfaces or not, but I don't want to leave this to chance, because if someone was eating an allergen in the seat and then it didn't get completely wiped off, and then my daughter touched it and got into her eyes, nose, or mouth, it could be a problem, which is why we always ask to pre-board so we have time to wipe down all of our seats. So I bring my big wipes for the plane area, and then we have smaller travel size packs for wiping hands throughout the plane ride and also throughout the trip. And yes, I like to carry those wipes in my carry-on, so if our luggage gets lost, we don't have to worry about finding more. Even though, yes, they're probably really easy to replace, but I kind of consider them an essential and don't want to go without them for too long. We get the extra large ones that are for wiping the seats, and they're made by, I think it's called Wet Ones. And then we get the travel packs, and the same thing again, made by Wet Ones, that we use for hand wiping. The third thing is to wear a medical alert bracelet. So if you have younger kids, I think it's super important that there's a way that others can see that they have an allergy. So if something happens to you, let's say you get separated or you have an accident if you're driving, it's helpful to know that the adult helping your child will know about their allergies. And if your child doesn't wear a bracelet, you could try putting it on their shirt or on their backpack for the travel days, somewhere where they can find it, but it wouldn't be like visible to everyone. I think having it somewhere is important. But remember, the chances that something's going to happen to you is really small. But we do want to plan for the worst and expect the best. Now, if you have older kids, you could think about putting this information on their mobile phone. And I think that emergency staff check there as well, but you may want to consider also having a bracelet as well. And this is because, let's say they pass out or they fall and drop their phone and it's broken or it can't be found. With a bracelet, it's on their person and it's easy to find, and medical professionals are going to look for this type of jewelry. Okay, the next thing we always make sure to bring on travel days is the anaphylaxis emergency plan and our doctor's letter. So if you're traveling with your child, you might say, look, I know exactly what I'm doing if a reaction happened. And this might be totally true. But consider this, you're in an unfamiliar situation, or maybe you're a little extra worried because you're traveling and you might forget or maybe even second guess yourself. That's why it's important to bring a copy of your emergency anaphylaxis plan so you can easily reference it and know what to watch for and what to do. I know a lot of people panic after they thinking about giving epinephrine on a plane, because what if you can't get to the hospital after? Well, I know this is very new still, and there's a lot of people that don't know about it yet. But according to the newest practice parameters guidelines, people may not need to go to the hospital if a reaction is controlled by epinephrine. So I know, please don't shoot the messenger, because this is so new. Some of you may not even have heard about it yet. And you may be saying, look, that is dangerous. So I am not saying this is right for you. I'm not saying it's right for your child, but instead I would hope that you maybe talk to your allergist about it. Check with them to see if that it's going to work for you and your child, and your doctor will give you the direction you need. Because if you can not have to go to the hospital, I think it can relieve a lot of stress if anaphylaxis were to happen on a plane. So I'm going to share a link to the evidence-based anaphylaxis practice parameters so you can see where I got this from. And then, of course, talk to your doctor. This is not my advice to you. More so, I just want to help you to think about opening a conversation with your allergist, because I think it could really help people feel less worried about flying if they know they don't have to get to the hospital if they have a reaction. In addition, I like to bring a note from our doctor that states that we need special food, our meds, and that we need to board early to wipe down the surfaces of the plane. Okay, the next thing is safe foods and snacks. So if you're flying, carrying safe foods and snacks in your carry-on for the entire trip is important. Yes, I said food for the entire trip. Now, this might sound overwhelming, but it is doable. And I like to bring shelf-stable, protein-rich items. A few examples are pepperoni sticks, granola, protein bars, dried fruit or apple rings, homemade muffins, flax or chia oat bites, popcorn, veggie straws, shelf-stable hummus or guacamole, and safe crackers or pretzels. And you could do oatmeal or another safe dried meal and ask for hot water on the plane. They usually have it because they will make tea for people. So sometimes dehydrated camping food might work if you have a way to get hot water. Again, ask for it on the plane. And if you haven't already, you can check out the brands Made Good, Enjoy Life, Char, No Way, Hippies, That's It, Freeyum, because these all have a variety of allergy-friendly snacks and crackers and things that just might work for your allergens. Of course, pick the items that are going to work for your child and your allergens, but I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you might be able to bring. Now, if you're flying, you do have to remember to probably eat all of these foods, or most of them, the ones that are non-perishable, before you get to the country that you're going to. Or check the customs of that country to see if that's going to be okay to bring in. Always declare all foods. And of course, we don't want that food to get lost in our checked baggage. So make sure that you're keeping that with you. And having safe food is important. And I find if you're bringing food and non-perishables, it can be done using that rolly carry-on and maybe a little of a carry-on backpack too. So I talk about exactly what and how much to bring if you are cooking on vacation in episode number 68. So if you want to know more about if you're fully cooking and you're not going to restaurants or an all-inclusive, then you want to know what to bring and what to pack, go to episode 68 because I go into depth about it there. But for now, I want to talk about how to figure out how many snacks to bring and what to bring just for those travel days. And I say travel days because you also want to think about bringing food for the way home, because it's easy to forget about this, but you need food for the way home as well. So to figure this out, what I do is create kind of like a flow chart. So I map out the specific steps of our travel days. Like, let's say we got flight 1, we have a 2-hour layover, then we've got flight 2, then we have the transfer to the hotel. This way you can kind of decide what snacks to bring for each step, and it helps to break everything down. Because sometimes thinking about a travel day makes it seem hard, but if you look at it in little bite-sized pieces, it's actually really easy to figure it out. So if you want help creating this flow chart, I actually have one in my packing and planning list that is included in my travel services, or you can buy it for separately in my food allergy travel workshop. But here's a little tip. If you have a layover at an airport and you're not sure what to eat because you haven't researched the restaurants, you should almost always be able to find whole fruit like oranges and bananas that you can actually peel and apples that you can wash. And I remember this was a little backup and it can be super helpful. Also, if dairy is not one of your allergens, you can get a chocolate milk or a regular milk, and that usually has a good amount of protein as well. So I know that my daughter would often have a piece of fruit and a chocolate milk as a substantial snack in the airport if we couldn't find anything else. Now, if you have a dairy allergy, you could bring a small travel size of peanut butter or nut butter or soy butter or sun butter and spread it on a banana or apple to add that extra protein while you're in between flights or on a layover. Now, just a quick note about allergens and the environment. And I want to remind everyone that we're in this together. No matter what allergies we all have, we need to look out for our fellow food allergy community. So if you're drinking a chocolate milk, use those wipes you brought to wipe up spills, even if they're tiny. Or if you're putting a nut butter on an apple, wipe the table afterwards. Also, be considerate. Keep foods at tables as much as possible. It's a matter of doing for others what we hope they will do for us. And I know that you won't always find things clean and tidy, but we can make a small difference for each other in the community at least. Item number 6 is optional, and that is a face mask. So a face mask is specifically helpful for closed areas. So if you're in a plane or a train or you're worried about airborne reactions. One thing that can help with this is an N95 face mask. So Really talk to your allergist to see if they think you need one. But again, if you're worried, this can help you feel more comfortable. Not only that, but you're going to lower the chance of getting sick on a plane as well. I hope this helps you figure out what you're going to bring on those travel days. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Let me know by sending me a message on Instagram at Friendly Pantry. Want to have my food allergy travel expertise on your side so you don't have to plan on your own? I'd love to help you create a trip that feels safe, doable, and fun. You don't have to do it yourself. Let's make your next trip feel like a vacation. Email me at corinna.meckleborg@fora.travel to chat about your next vacation. Thanks for listening, and bye for now. Before you go, Mama, if you love this episode and want deeper support, head over to friendlypantry.com to see how we can partner together to keep your food allergy child safer and worry less. There's no need for wasting time searching all over Instagram, TikTok, and the web to get the practical knowledge you need for your family. While you're there, grab your free Food Allergy Kids Empowerment Guide or the newly diagnosed checklist today. Topics are not medical advice and are the opinions, views, and property of Friendly Pantry Consulting Incorporated. All rights reserved. Always contact your board-certified allergist, immunologist for health advice.